And welcome back to Let's Play Breath of Fire 2. Last time, we rescued the villagers of Capitan from the dried-up well, and Ray offered to give us a blessing from St. Eva. He told us to go to the place where our members meet, which is the safe house. It looks like they've actually done a pretty good job fixing up the place. Yeah, you guys have been doing pretty good. Oh, and we've got our own room. Awesome. But now that the whole fixing job is done, I wonder if, Rand is free to come with us. So, it looks like Nero is out of the runnings for the blessing. I don't know why they'd want Sten to come with them, but whatever, if I don't have to deal with him for a few minutes. The renew magic, huh? Alright, so we just have to go discuss this with our party members and see who can earn the magic. Well, yeah, and Sten has terrible AP. He would only be able to use the spell like once and he'd be spent. Nina argues that she's better at attack magic, but of the people we have available to give it to right now, she is actually by far the best candidate. Not only does she have the most AP to actually utilize it, the other characters we could give it to, which are Bo and Rand, they learn Renew naturally anyway. It is looking pretty nice. They did a good job fixing it up. I wonder if we could make it even nicer. Now let's look for Rand and just talk it over with him real quick. Each character has their own room. When you come back in here, they each disperse, and if you go upstairs, they'll head into their rooms. Looks like Rand isn't on the second floor. Let's head up to the third floor. But yeah, it's pretty amazing what they've done with the short time we've been away. Here's Rand. But, like I said, Rand learns Renew naturally anyway, so it'd be a pretty big waste to give it to him, so I am going to teach it to Nina. Now, if you didn't save all the villagers at the bottom of the well, instead, Ray would offer to teach you Cure 2. Some people like getting Cure 2 because this is the earliest you can get that healing magic, and it's the only way you could get it onto a character like Nina. But I don't really feel that it's necessary to have Cure 2 because, well, one, herbs are just dirt cheap and we can buy hundreds of them and not waste any money at all. And also, in the near future, once we put Rand in the party, he's going to learn Cure 2 naturally anyway. So, same reason that I'm not teaching Renew to Rand. Also, life pills are just going to be very expensive for a very long time, and although Renew can potentially fail when you cast it, it's much cheaper to use than buying life pills. Yes, I did. You can also give it to Bo, but he will not rejoin us until we resolve the whole thief quest. And, like I said, he learns it naturally anyway, so, once again, it'd just be a big waste. So, Nina, you're getting one healing spell to round out your repertoire. Alright, we'll see you, Ray. Well, now that that's all been resolved, I guess the only thing left to do is to head back to Capitan and see if they've got the boat up and running now. And now that we have got the hideout repaired a little bit, we can switch out our party members. I'm going to bring in Rand, because he's been sitting out for a while and he's fallen way behind. I'm going to bring in Kat, and I will be switching in Nina later, but for now we're going to be taking Sten, because we actually need him to get back to Capitan. Let's see here. I'm going to make it scramble formation, and Rand's really low-leveled, so eventually I'm going to move him to the absolute front of the party, but for right now he's just going to be standing in the back until he levels up a bit. Now that we have access to switching our party members, any dragon statue that we come across, we can also switch our party members there as well. So let's just check that out. As you can see, we can change. Alright, let's get out of here. I said, let's get out of here. Okay. Alright. Get used to seeing Kat in my party for quite some time. She's basically one of the better party members to be taking around with you for the whole Find the Thief side quest, or main quest, rather. And as soon as we resolve this whole issue, there's a dungeon that requires you to bring her anyway. But after that's all taken care of, I will be taking her out of the party. Alright, Rand already got his first level up. Now, there is no leaked experience in this game. If a character is not in the party, they do not get experience. So, it will require some grinding on my part to get all the characters evenly leveled so I can just freely switch them in and out. But I have methods of doing that without getting any of my other characters too over-leveled. I'll be showing that off in the near future when we get a certain character. But man, it would be nice if we didn't have to just walk all the way back to these towns. Maybe in the future we'll get a way to just, you know, go right back to them without any walking. So, not only is it a good idea to bring Rand in your party to catch him up, it's also just helpful to have the rolling ball ability. I'm going to be using Rand quite a bit for the upcoming sections, just because he's really useful. He's a good tank character, and he has a lot of healing magic. Actually, Rand also learns some attack magic spells. He's just a really versatile character. I like having him in my party a lot. As far as, like, pure healers go, Bo is better just because Bo has a wider selection of healing spells as well as more AP to use. But I really do like having Rand in my party. Also, these dragonflies, I don't believe I got to show it off the last time we fought them. They also have the egg beater ability. It's such a weird name. I genuinely don't know what they were really trying to convey with that name. Navigating the rolling ball in these areas with a lot of turns and trees is pretty obnoxious. All the enemies here are very weak, so we can just auto-battle them and it'll be done relatively quickly. Actually, I should go into scramble formation next time I get the chance. When we get in our next fight, there's actually... you can switch formations mid-fight, which is a really cool feature. You cannot change your party order in the middle of... oh, I can't believe I just did that. You can't change your party order in the middle of a fight, but switching formations can be kind of useful, especially if you're in an unoptimal one for whatever fight you're in. Just as an aside, I've actually been getting a surprising number of golds as random drops. I never got any from the enemies that could potentially drop them, except once in my last playthrough. The killer goblins, those little blue ones that we can run across over on the Windia side, they actually can drop golds, which I did not know about. Just as we're almost there. But yeah, let's switch formations real quick. We'll go to Scramble to maximize our offensive output. One thing I actually didn't remember is that in normal formation, the person who's in the third slot actually loses 10% damage and takes 10% less. That was not something I was aware of. So this is why Sten had to join our party. The real reason. Whenever you see posts like that, he can stretch his arms to pull us across. I don't know how he carries us all across, but whatever, it works. Rand will not go into the rolling ball while you're standing on the post. Ow, I should have been able to clear that. Alright. Good. Oh! Oh my! Stoolies. I don't think I actually showed these guys off on screen. They don't really do too much. They cast an assortment of debuffs, or they just attack you. They have decent defense. If you have Nina, you can cast Thunder and spread out your attacks to take them out more efficiently, but it's not really necessary. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I did actually buy a piece of equipment for Rand while he was cooling his jets at the hideout. Let's just get the menu screen up and hit him with that. The Revet Knuckles. Don't know if that's supposed to be Rivet or not. Encounters! I should have just hit auto battle. As it stands, none of the encounters are really long enough that I should have to cut them out, but it is pretty annoying how many of them I've gotten into. Especially how many of them were just a result of me crashing while in the rolling ball. As you can see though, Cat, Sten, their damage is getting pretty high. Oh well, all these fights are getting levels for Rand, so I can take that. Rand has... Oh, why do I keep getting hit? Ugh. As I was saying, Rand has higher experience requirements for level ups, so it's a good idea to keep him in your party a lot if you're going to be using him seriously. Any new enemies here? No. Let's see if I can just... Okay. I don't know why I bothered with that. Well, since I've already started talking, I have to commit to showing off this encounter. So, how are things going with you guys? Things have been pretty okay with me. I've picked up Pokemon Sun, enjoying it so far. Definitely has nice scenery. I haven't really played around with the whole Z moves mechanic, but it looks like it'll be fun when I get enough of the gems. Other than that, I've been playing Harvest Moon 64 a lot. That's a really fun game, but unfortunately, the age of my N64 and the cartridge itself, which I just bought recently, it's not really totally stable. It tends to crash a lot and produce other weird glitches. Also, the controller I'm using has a terrible analog stick that, whenever it goes back to neutral, it overshoots and goes to the right instead. So that's been frustrating, and I've ordered a new one. Okay, let's head into the town. Hey, who's that? Really handsome, you say? Oh, I don't think Sten will fit her bill. Okay. Where did she take us? Now, this cabin is actually in the forest to the north of the town. I didn't show it off because there's basically no reason to go here before this. Not at all. Nope, she did not. Oh, why'd you have to say that? I don't like where this is going. You were the one who said guinea pig. Wait, is this... I'm confused even more now. Okay, well, at least we know that's intentional. Huh. Well, I mean, Ryu's not exactly the most magically inclined person, but we do have a couple of spells. I guess we can give this a shot. Alright, let's see how this goes. I mean, I guess this will make us stronger if it works out. Whoa! This went exceptionally well. A little too well, it seems. Uh-oh. Well, it was an accident? Power of the Dragon? Oh, I guess that's the Breath of Fire the title was referring to. So it looks like the uniting experiment was a failure, but it awakened Jeff's dragon powers. Still, I wonder why Jeff would have the power of the dragon. Uh-oh. Well, what am I gonna... How are we gonna get a new house? Hey, don't ask for everything. Listen, this is your guys' fault. You were the ones who tried to make me do the experiment. Well, I guess we have no choice but to head back to Capitan for the moment. But that little experiment there unlocked our first dragon powers. I know, just 9 videos in when we finally got them. Now, dragon powers, when you use them, they're different from pretty much every other instance in the series where you actually transform. In this game, they're more along the lines of standard spells. You see how it says AP use 20 there? That is not 100% accurate. The dragon powers take whatever your current AP is, and the amount of damage they do is determined by how much AP they take. If they take the full amount of AP, they do their maximum damage. These puppy spells do 256 damage at max AP, and obviously after you use it, all your AP is gone, so it's a one-shot deal. Now obviously getting that much damage out at once is pretty useful, but it can be a little limiting at first since we don't really have good ways to restore our AP. But with a little bit of trickery, also running into encounters at this point is really bad. Uh-oh. We're probably going to get killed here. The walk back is pretty much a luck-based mission. Sometimes you'll walk there and not get into an encounter, other times you'll get attacked constantly, and the defense down, if that goes through, we're basically dead here. I'm just going to keep trying to run, because if they get defense down the stick, then I'm probably not going to win anyway. Okay. But there is some trickery that we can do to get more than one dragon spell per battle. Well, talking to that guy lets us warp right back to the safe house. Oh, uh-oh. They're stealing mine and Bo's room. Where would you get an idea like that? I know, but I did kind of wreck their house. What do we look like? Alright, well, okay, I think we can make something work. I think we can probably find someone in Capitan. A lot of those people look like carpenters. I'm just saying that, I guess. Oh. Ah, great. Sorry, Bo. Yeah, it's definitely not the ideal situation, but it's what we have to do. Alright, let's get out of here. Looks like I was right, so we'll find a carpenter in Capitan. Unfortunately, while we get warped here, we do not get warped back, so we have to walk all the way back to Capitan again. I'm just going to cut the trip out, so let's head on into the mountains and I'll meet you back at the town. Alright, after about a half-dozen crashes on the way here, we managed to make it back to Capitan. Now, we've been tasked with finding a carpenter, and we have 3 choices since we rescued all the villagers. The less villagers you rescue, the less choices you have, and there will always be at least one carpenter you can pick. Now, in this first house, we could pick this guy, and each carpenter builds a unique building back in Township, which is the name of the hideout. This guy builds a bar where you can go to check out various play statistics as you've made it through the game, which is kind of neat, but not exactly useful. Now, the other carpenter, let's just see if I forget which one he's in. Yeah, this guy right here. This guy will build a house where you can play an Othello minigame with certain tokens that you find, and when you win certain parts of the board, you win some items. Some of the stuff is actually pretty good, but it's not anything that you can't get somewhere else in the game, so this is probably the least useful of the carpenters you can pick, just because at least the first carpenter we saw, he can tell you some kind of interesting stuff. Now, the other carpenter, and this is the only carpenter that will appear if you don't save anyone, and he's easily the best, this guy will build a restaurant where you can have him cook items for you by putting in 2 items for a recipe, and through this you can create a variety of good items, including permanent stat boosters, items that sell for a ton of money, and just a lot of other good stuff. Also, that item we got there, Guts Blue, when you use it on yourself, it's supposed to increase your gut stat, but it actually doesn't do anything. So let's take this guy as our carpenter. Yes, please. Yeah, it was a little embarrassing. And because we did save the entire town, this guy's more than willing to help us out. Now, in addition to building the house for the old lady and building his own building, he's actually going to make Township into a real deal town, and that's going to be something of a very big mechanic in the game, but it's going to take a bit of time for that to happen. Now, one last thing before we close out this video. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do too much, so just a bit of a plot-heavy video. We'll bring Nina back into our party at the place of Sten. Let's see, Cat, Rand, Nina. There we go. I'll go with Scramble, not Parallel. Parallel's a weird formation, I'll discuss it later. And yeah, when we come back, we will actually be able to head out to the docks now and head over to the next land. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and when we come back, we will head out and hopefully find the thief. So until then, please, have a nice day.